Well, there can be no doubt about it. This is all starting to catch up with us a little bit now. 3 games a week with no big additions in a summer. We head into a Premier League game today with virtually none of our first 11 fit. And then we've got a massive decider in the Champions League. But at what cost are we going to play our first team? Yes, hello and welcome along to part 122 of the Head Coach with me, Daniel. We're back today to face Everton in the Premier League before a home game against PSG, which could all but wrap up qualification for the next stage of the Champions League. However, we've got problems because we talked about it. John Murtough, he went missing in the summer. He didn't improve. He didn't even bid for anyone on deadline day. And yes, it's great that the club finances are okay and that we've got 30 million of our transfer budget left unspent and loads of our wage budget too. But at what cost? Because today we have got virtually none of our first 11 available. And that's going to be a problem away from home, even against the side in the bottom half. We've dropped a few points in recent weeks already. We just can't cope with the schedule. So if you're looking forward to seeing how we get on in this one, then please do put a thumbs up on the video. But let's go and have a look at what's been going on, because since you were last with me, there have been a few little frustrations. So you were here at the end of, October now, as we had back-to-back 3-2 defeats against Newcastle and Atletico, and the struggles away to the top sides have continued, albeit they've been a bit closer. We've also dropped a couple of points at home. So we did bounce back as expected after the last episode, a 6-1 win at home to struggling Sheffield United. We did go one down in this game, but Ocon scored a North brace before Walker, Taylor and Hervenhoff. They made it all a comfortable day. Against Newcastle in the Carabao Cup, they rotated more than us and Taylor, Jimenez and Hervenhoff scored the goals before a 2-0 win against Nottingham Forest with Joseph Taylor at it again. He is the top scorer at the club at the moment, 11 in 11 starts in the league, and he's just defying all the odds. He's such a good player for us and so consistent at the top level. We beat Shakhtar 5-0 in a Champions League, a brace for Develay and Guido, in addition to one for Demeter, who's been so injury prone this season. A 3-1 win at Southampton with 2 for Taylor and 1 for North, before a disappointing 0-0 draw at home to Bournemouth. We did everything but score, we just couldn't hit the target. Baysal had a shocker, Taylor didn't have a great game, Demeter was all at sea, it just didn't happen for us. We did bounce back with a 3-0 win at home to Monaco, Charlie Humphreys, Guido and Marco Demeter with their goals, and then a 1-0 defeat at Spurs, a disappointing performance, and a 3-0 win at home to West Ham. 2 for Taylor and 1 for Develay got us that win, but it does mean that with a game every 3 days, we are very short of first team footballers, and going into this one, with all of that lovely transfer money and wage money sitting there, we are a bit of a mess because, well, I've just got to show you. We are third in the league, we're doing all right, we're right up in the mix, and if we keep consistent enough, we should still be on course for a top 4 finish. However, we have a look at the tactical meeting here and see how things are going. This is the team we've got out today. And look at the squad. I mean, we've got 5 players on the bench who aren't fully fit. That doesn't include Develay or Demeter, who both miss out. And in the starting lineup, we've still got Guido and Jones, who aren't in prime condition. So we are virtually at a rested full 11, and the only ones that are in, particularly in the outfield ranks, are not anywhere near fit anyway. So our 11 in full is Robles in goal, Solis and Simmons the fullback with Jones and Hervenhoff centre half, Carlos Jimenez and Cabadis the midfield 3, Guido and Taylor the wingers, and then Joel North through the middle. Boy, do we need him to find scoring form again. Well, here it is then. Jason Holt is the manager, and Everton have got a familiar name in the team and a man we've managed before. So firstly, Carney Chukwuemeka still going, Austrian international in game. And then Paul Ferdinand on the right. Anyone remember that name? He was part of our Ipswich team. He was the star youngster when we were there. And he is now a Premier League footballer with Everton. Not much else I recognise there. Don't think there's anyone from my England squads. So let's just go and get through the dressing room. Let's go and tell the lads to do what they can. Prove a point, because a lot of you are not in the first 11 and you've got a chance to show how good you are. So let's see if you can do that in this half. We're at the new Everton Stadium, lots of fans in. Now let's go and make it count on the pitch. Well, corner kick early on for Guido, one of the few first teamers staying in. I think Hervenhoff, who just headed that one over, might be the only first teamer who is fit and is starting. He's the only one that's got that crucial combination. But you can see the performances aren't the same. You've seen us a lot when we've played against anyone at home or away at the bottom half. We have been rampant, we've been front-footed, we've been aggressive, we've pressed high. And here, I mean, we can barely create a chance, let alone keep sustained pressure. We get through the dressing room at half-time. And the problem is here, we're having to bring off stars to bring on stars anyway. It's not like we've got fully fit players. Guido's really struggling. Jones is struggling as well. And there's a few others that aren't far away. As Lastra at the back finds Chukwuemeka. Everton playing through us. Something that would never have happened last year against the bottom half teams. And you have to say it now as Everton go one ahead. Was not doing it when we didn't have European football, a missed opportunity. I know we wouldn't have expected our director of football to do, well, literally nothing in the summer. But it has not left us in good nick, as Guido again doesn't take the short corner. I don't know how you get a short corner to happen in FM, as Guido crosses deflected straight into the keeper's hands. I mean, that's easy. There is no pressure on him at all, as Reed gets the ball in goal. Big kick downfield, and I'd worry about us here. At right back, we lose the header. It falls for Kieran Jones, though. And now I've got to decide what subs do we make. Do we chase the game? Or do we accept it and maybe keep everyone fresh for next week? As we've lost the ball at left back. I mean, we've just not got the same energy in our performance. It's plain to see. And there is only one man I can blame. Oh, what are you doing? Solace, have you forgotten what team you're on, son? He's just put in the perfect front post cross for an Everton striker. I cannot believe my eyes. I've got to show you this again. He's picked the ball up at right back, defended well. He's literally just put a cross in. Has anyone got the phone for the FA? We need to get a match fixing investigation going, because Solis has just put in a cross for Everton that is going to have won them the game by now. And at this point, I just need to rest people. So Guido off for Vanderson. I'm genuinely astonished by what I've just watched. I don't mind losing a game, but that's ridiculous. Simmons off for Garcia. I'm going to bring Humphreys on, I think, at centre-half for Jones, just to give him a break too. Joseph Taylor will come off for Heremans. He doesn't get much action, so let's get him on as a winger on attack. And then what do we do? Walker for Cabadis. We'll push on George Jimenez. We'll switch Carlos there. It's not a team that can get back in this game, but what it is a team that is going to allow everyone to be rested. We've got a free kick to defend on halfway. It's turning into a nightmare, but look at this 11 that's on the pitch now. This is essentially our full backup 11. We are not a Premier League team with our backup 11. This 11 would struggle to win the championship title. And that is the difference we're talking about to what are the top 3, 4 or 5 have got in this country. Our backup team could probably not win the championship. And when you've got your right back deliberately putting crosses in and trying to set up Everton goals, you're in even more trouble. We've gone attacking. We're going to encourage them, but I mean, what are you expecting from this? It's a pathetic effort. And all of the hallmarks of our normal performances against the bottom half teams just aren't there. We struggled with it against Bournemouth. We struggled with it against Spurs. Not so much the expecting to win games, but not creating chances, not pressing high, not creating anything really. And we just look flat on our feet, which in December is a really worrying sign. As Heremans gets it on the left here. Cuts it back to Carlos. Chips over to Vanderson. He's playing off the right in a minute because it's the only option we've got. Into Solis, who's got to make amends here. Cuts back to Vanderson. Into Jimenez. He's hit the woodwork from 5 yards. You can't miss those. Garcia on the left. He's made nothing of it. And now we're in real trouble. Got to change Vanderson back to a winger as well. If he's looking nervous coming on at his age, we're in big trouble. How on earth do we do this? I mean, it's been an even game on the stats. We've not taken our chances, but the pressure, the goals we've given away, and the lack of intensity is there for all to see. A few of you have suggested in the comments that to be a success at the top level, we might need one more move. And you might be right, because this club, it's got the mentality of a mid-table team, and we are not aligned with that. We want to push to the next level. So frustrating not having the squad, as Heremans gives it to Garcia. I mean, we've basically got 3 promoted players from the under-21s there. I don't know what to say about that pass. Carlos gives it to Jimenez. We almost need to be out of Europe, but the problem with that is that's where all the money's coming in. It's a real catch-22 as Laycott plays it to Chukwuemeka. They could make it 3 here. North flies in, that's frustration. Vanderson breaks away though to Heremans. Can he get a goal at least? Heremans is in, he does score. First goal for the club, first goal for the season. Not going to be enough for this game, but goal difference might help, you don't know. These are points we weren't dropping last season. European football is costing us. We have not got the squad to cope with it. And now we have got to bounce back against PSG. If we don't get through from that game on Wednesday, this won't have been worth it, which will be really annoying. Well, we're back for the PSG game, and we still don't have the 2 players who were out last time. Demeter says 75 minutes, but he's not in full condition. And given that the Villa game's 3 days later, and what happened last weekend against Everton, do we have to think about that as well? It's a very difficult question to answer. There's a few heavy match loads in there. The bench is fit, but again with heavy match loads, I think I might try and mix and match it. I don't know if it's going to be successful. I'll be back in a minute to run through my chosen team. Here we go then, and I've put in my self-imposed rule for this one. Anyone who's played more than 3 games worth of minutes in the last 14 days, so a heavy match load with more than 270 minutes, they are going to drop out of the team today. It does mean that we've got a weaker defence than we like. It does mean that 1 or 2 surprising selections have been made and juggling's about. But overall, I think we're as good as we can be. There's a bit of a problem that North is out of form, Baysal's out of form, Ocon is playing every position under the sun, and of course that the defence isn't looking great, but this is the team that we've gone for. It's Robles in goal who keeps his place with Jones at centre-half alongside Deverley. Vanderson and Garcia are in at full-back. Antonio Carlos comes in alongside Hodgkinson with Henry Ocon moving forward to number 10. And then Baysal and De Buen off North up front. Demeter's on the bench today, but I'll try not to risk him. We've got the likes of Taylor, who's played 3 games worth. And then Guido, Simmons, Humphreys, they've all played 300 odd minutes. We've got to be careful with them. The last thing we want is more people breaking down. We're playing every midweek before the end of the year as well. So we have got to look after people. Let's go and get into this one and see if we balanced it well enough. Because if we don't get the result, it could be a bit of a crisis setting in for the first time since, well, our first couple of months in charge. So let's go and tell the lads to prove a point. We've basically got to realign what we want to do this season. Any talk of the title is off the cards. We've got to try and get the top 4 as the Champions League music blares out. And we've got to get through this group stage here because all these rested players won't be worth it if not. We get to the last 16, the last 8 of this, it's a success. We haven't been in the competition for a good 8 or 9 years. If we can potentially get into the top 4 as well, and maybe it is a successful season. I didn't check if PSG had any familiar names. Let's have a quick look. The Champions League music's still going. What on earth's going on there? Calvin Ramsey at 34 is still at right back. This is a lovely backdrop to my talking. We've got a 26-year-old Welsh international. Jude Bellingham is still going as well. But otherwise, most of their squad is in its prime. It's going to be very difficult to deal with. Let's go and get back into the first half and see how we get on here, as it's an early PSG free kick. Rauha to the back post. They've got one of the best sides in the world. And I would not be surprised if we lost this, as that shot goes just wide. 5 minutes gone, it stays 0-0. The better start is definitely to the visitors. And they've got another free kick here. We might be forced to drop back because, again, we've not really got the energy in the team to play the way we want. A lot of the players in have still got a heavy match load, albeit not very, very heavy. And that one hits the bar back into Robles. We're all at sea. They're dominating the match. Maybe it is the fact we're playing well, a backup defence essentially. Deverley's the only regular first teamer there. And they're running us ragged, particularly at fullback, though Garcia does well to Hodgkinson. Away to Baysal, a chance to counter. 2 on 3 here. He's got to make the most of it. Ocon across goal. North unmarked. And the goal drought is over for Joel North. To be fair to him, for a very average Premier League player, he does pop up with a fair amount of big goals. He's delivered one there. It's a very incisive counter-attack. And my word, did we need to get ahead. Has anyone just noticed at the top as well? Arsenal 1-0 up away at Galway United. What a turn up for the books that is, them in the Champions League. As out it comes to Hamidovic at right back. PSG pushing on here. By Madal and up to Rauha. Good challenge Hodgkinson. Can we counter again? I think North was offside anyway. And PSG bringing away with Bellingham, our England superstar from the last stint. Oh, is Jones off? Oh, he's got away with that. That looked a foul every day to me. Long ball forward towards Baysal. Flicked on to North. It might even lead to a goal. PSG will be furious if it does. as Ocon hits the woodwork back to the keeper. Not only did we get away with one, we almost got the ultimate reward. Here come PSG at the other end though. They're straight down the left-hand side. Rego beats Vanderson, who's God knows how long now. How old, sorry. With a quarter of the game gone. Breathe. It is 1-0 to Manchester United. We're just 5 minutes to half-time. This game has calmed down a bit as PSG are bringing the ball out again, and it looks so threatening going forward. To be fair, I don't see a way we keep a clean sheet here. As they come across the box, it might end straight away. Rego in, it's a great save, Robles. He does so well to hold it as well. Yes, the finish should have been better. It shouldn't have given the keeper a chance, but it did, and he certainly made the most of the opportunity. As Emir Baysal takes the corner. Again, no short one offered. Don't care today, though. Joel North is in the box, and he scored again. This is a player who we signed after he was relegated to the Championship with Forest. 30 million was spent by John Murtow. To be fair, if he'd signed a player of that class this summer, I would have been happy with it. But given the circumstances and his relative quality, that boy is overachieving like nothing we've seen before. We're going to tell the lads we're happy. We're 2-0 up in a very even game. And now, at least I can say, if we win this, that what happened on Saturday or Sunday was worth it. If we get the 3 points in this one, we're virtually through. We can then worry about the league games in January rather than the Champions League ones. And hopefully push on. Because don't forget again, you're getting over £2 million a win in the Champions League, which is paying our wage bill for the week. As De Bruyne cuts the ball in from the right. In the box is North. He's got a hat-trick. Joel North is back with a bang. And that might help us for the weekend. With Demeter out of sorts and struggling to stay fit. With Hunter not able to get himself in the team. Well, we've got to be pleased. Devilay's picked up a knockout. That's something to worry about. But De Bruyne on the right looks for Ocon. And we've just got to take people off soon. Start resting them. Ocon's nicked it. Why did he pass? Baysal, he's a bit wide for him. Back to Garcia. Deflects in. VAR might have something to say about that. No, they don't. They're deeming the only touch off a PSG man. North obviously wasn't in the keeper's line. And we are 4-0 up against one of the best teams we've played this season. Is PSG having the same old PSG problems? Devilay is going to get a rest. He'll be replaced by... The only option we've really got is Charlie Humphreys, who's fully fit. So he'll come on. Or we could shuffle Garcia across, but I'm not sure that's the right option. Humphreys on centre-half there. We're also going to take off Ocon, who's knackered. He's going to be replaced by Cabadis. We're going to bring on Jimenez for Hodgkinson. Rest all of the first teamers now. Who else is there? Baysal, he can come off as well. Joseph Taylor will get a run for him. And then David Walker or Solis can come on. De Bruyne maybe is the other one we take off. We'll bring on, I think we're going to go for... I'd like to bring Walker on if we could, but I think I'm going to have to do Solis because it's the only one that fits tactically. And after his disgraceful performance against Everton and that stupid goal he set up, it's a bit of a chance for him to get some redemption. Vanderson gets a big appearance with half an hour to go. At 4-0, I think we're safe to make these changes. We'll see how we get on. Of course, it should mean most of our first 11 is fit on Saturday, which is a massive bonus for us after what happened last week. Aberdeen beating Atalanta. Considering we've got all of Europe's big leagues loaded, here's some very surprising results we're seeing here. PSG have been a force in this competition. They've been getting the finals and semis regularly. And we're now playing them off the park, despite what was a dominant first half from them. As Taylor's back to Jimenez. It's 5. PSG are unravelling. They are really unravelling here. And we are taking full advantage. Do you know what? At least it makes up for it. I'm not so upset about the Everton result now. This is well worth it. It's a big win. And maybe we prioritise going deep in this competition. Hopefully we can win on Saturday with the players that are available. And this one, well, it's can we keep the clean sheet now? As Humphreys finds Vanderson on the right. He gets to beat his man, but instead cuts inside, finds Humphreys. Support from Jimenez and Carlos. Down the line, he's got an option. Vanderson making a run. Cabadis in the middle. What on earth is going on? PSG have disintegrated in front of our eyes. They are the best team on paper we've played in this group stage. We've lost to Atletico Madrid. Yes, we beat Shakhtar comfortably. We struggled in some of the others. And in this one, well, the first half we could have been 2 down. And in the second half, we battered them. How big was that save at the start? When Joel Robles saved one that should have gone in. When they just missed one and hit the woodwork. And now at 6-0, it looks a very easy game. But we could have been a couple down and out of it. That's the difference that missing a chance can make in football. La Rosa's playing out from the back, and we are enjoying a famous night at Old Trafford. And to be fair, for all the odd disappointments we've had against Everton and Bournemouth and Spurs, if we have nights like this, the fans will forgive us as we rebuild this football club, because on a night like tonight, they will feel like they're back in the big time. As Joseph Taylor looking to add one more. Down the left wing he goes. Seventh is the one we're looking for. Second minute of stoppage time. Kabadis to Vanderson. Oh, that's a special goal. We don't know why he's still here after last year. We don't know how he's still playing at this level. But the boy keeps himself fit. He keeps himself in first team contention. And he thoroughly deserves that goal. Our expected goals is less than 3. So we've got to have a bit of perspective. We've just scored every chance that's come to us. But a 7-0 win against PSG is one of the most famous nights we'll have. It could have been very different in that first half, but in the end, we bounced back in style. Let's go and have a look at the schedule and see when we're going to be back. Well, Deverlay is out injured for 6 days, so annoyingly, he's going to miss the weekend fixture. However, we're in great form now. We've actually got a friendlier run of fixtures coming. With 15 points, we're virtually through in the Champions League, so we can rest a few against Salzburg and Sporting, focus on the league fixtures there and getting points on the board. We've got a Carabao Cup quarter-final and an FA Cup third round, both against Leeds at home, which should be winnable games. And then based on that, the semi-final of the Carabao Cup should come in January at some point. Now that's where we're going to be looking to get to a final, try and win something this season, make it a success of a year, because that's what's been missing in our career at club level. We have not won a club competition since Bromley, and this club has had a faltering mentality for too long, so we're going to try and put that right. We have a look at the teams that are still in it. There are a few big boys going, Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Spurs, etc. We'll see who we're facing if we get there. We'll be back for the second leg of that one. Hopefully some January transfer action from John Murtow. He's still got all that summer budget to play with, and my word, do we need some squad depth. If you're looking forward to seeing if we get it, and you did enjoy the good, the bad and the ugly in that episode, then please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know what you thought of the contrasting performances and what you think of our squad depth. It's as simple as when we've got a few out, we just can't cope. Our backup team is not top Premier League level. If you want to stay up to date with the rest of the season, see if John does any work in January and whether we can win our first trophy at the club, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We had another big addition in our Builder Nation yesterday. That latest season is in the eye above, and we'll be back with that one tomorrow before this returns in 2 days' time. There's also links up there to my latest blog post, which is all about Luton's special day at Wembley a couple of weeks ago. The football podcast and the Twitch channel are up there as well. But thank you very much for watching. Your support is always appreciated, and I'll see you back here next time to see if this transfer window actually brings us a decent player.